Hi, I'm Brian Mallard.
Okay, we are live.
Hi, I'm Brian Mallard, and that's Tim Childrey over there, working the thing while I'm knocking the cables around over here. And we had some misunderstanding with the guests, so we were just kind of like running the feed today to make sure that we keep everything rolling. And
That's right, Dee. We know that you didn't mean to, but we'll catch you next week.
Yeah. We're not definitely not dissing nobody. I'm lucky to remember from week to week. But now, anybody that just got any input, any feedback for the show, this would be a really good time to type it in and see how we can improve things, or ask questions or whatever. We'd like to talk a little bit about. I'd like to talk a little bit about my phone. Every time I get a cell phone, they have these wonderful cameras in them, and I think when this contract's up, I'll keep this phone because I can use the video camera because I like the video, and every time I get a phone, like toward the end, it like does some weirdo thing and dies, so I can't use the old phone. But anyway, I got a new phone, and it's an LG V20. It's pretty neat. It's got a camera in it that not only shoots in like UHD, but also has like the still camera has controls like a real camera, and I'm still learning to use that. However, fortunately, I know two photographers, and I'm picking their brains for the answers.
Okay, sorry about that, Brian. Let me turn my camera back on.
Tim was checking the feed.
No, we've been having a lot of technical problems since the rain came in. I came in and unplugged a lot of things, and
Right.
we're trying to figure out what to plug to get back everything working again.
Where it plugs and all that good stuff.
But hey, we got sound. Everything's working.
Yeah,
so.
we're good. And so we'll be ready for the next show coming up. And we'll reschedule Dee, and we got, hopefully Leah will be in here.
Leah McMahon.
McMahon, yes. She
I always remember that
Playgrounds.
because WWE.
McMahon, right.
But hey, Linda is a writer for Playgrounds Magazine.
She is.
And
she
a writer also on her own. She's working on a book.
Right, and I understand some art too, so that's kind of cool. If I read her profile right, I may go back and read that because sometimes I miss things. But I know definitely the writing and the writing for Playgrounds, and really nice young lady, and we're looking forward to having her on, possibly next week, depending on if she has Memorial Day plans, because I myself just recently found out the next weekend was Memorial Day.
I did too. Brian told me, so that's
Yes.
we both found out.
We don't know if we're going to do a show. Got to find out what Leah's plans are, because being a writer, she may be covering stuff. She may be doing stuff. She may be out barbecuing. Who knows? But either way, we'll have her on, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I know it's supposed to rain all next week. I don't know if next weekend. Let me check this out, guys. This is the thing we can do. We're on the internet. We don't have a guest. We can look at our phones.
Yeah, this is like the where we don't have to be completely on.
No, we don't have to impress anyone.
We don't have to impress anyone.
But hey, Friday and Saturday, it looks like it's going to rain all week, but come Friday and Saturday, the sun's supposed to come out.
Well, that's good. That's good. And I like to. I've got to pimp a little something here. The Scumbugs Hoochie Fest is next weekend, and there's going to be live music, followed by a blues jam around the campfire later on. And there's going to be a ride out to the cemetery to put 10,000 flags on veterans' graves.
Oh, excellent.
Which is really cool. And I think it's going to be a really good event. My nephew is working on the musical part of it. Robert, you've seen him on the show before. And I'd like to hand it to the Scumbugs guys, because this thing's going to be pretty big. There's going to be food trucks. It's going to be a really nice event. So if you can get out there, it'll be on. Not sure what the address is, but it's behind the old hangar on Victory Drive, which is right beside the big cemetery. I really got to learn the names of things in my community.
Yeah.
But it's behind where King's Aviation used to be.
I was actually looking at our stream. I'm looking at my phone, and I'm looking at my computer and it keeps giving me the circle and it's hanging up, but it's running smooth as butter on the internet. So, guys, if you happen to come, well, I don't know, we're hanging up every once in a while, but like I said, we've been having a lot of tech problems. But if you come on, don't come on, and then when I get off, let me see that we had 5 billion views and no one said a word. So if you come on, please say hi, say, hey, you sound terrible, whatever you want to throw our way, we'll take it. But so, Brian, how was your week? Brian and I want to begin by saying this. Dee Armstrong was supposed to join us today, and she just she had some emergencies and just totally forgot, which we understand. That's totally, that's happened to both of us before. But we will have her on in the future. But Brian and I said, hey, let's just throw a show together, talk throw it against the wall, see what sticks.
Right, yes.
So how was your week?
Well, my week was actually, I'm involved with people on a regular basis, different people, projects going on and stuff, which we got a couple of projects hopefully coming up. But this past week was extremely busy, and so it was I was just running around a lot, and work was particularly busy.
Don't tell me that. I work at the same place as you do.
It was very, very busy.
No, Tim. It was very light.
No critique on the job itself, just to say that it was busy. But I also drink a lot of tea, as some of you know.
Yeah, that's tea. That's tea.
But oh yeah, I guess I have to be in front of the mic.
Yeah,
it was
some of that 100 proof tea.
Yeah, very 100 proof tea. But yeah, it's actually been kind of a wild couple of weeks. But I like to say there's something that stands out about it, but not really. It's just been very back to back, very busy. But I was talking open mic night a couple of weeks ago. For some of you may know, I've shared it on Facebook before. I have these 15-second movies that I made for Instagram. That's why they're 15 seconds. And I thought, have you ever seen the previews for a movie and thought, I've seen the movie? Well, in this case, it's the literal truth because the whole movie was 15 seconds. But following that, I made a 7-minute movie. And, well, my actors are ready to get back to it again. So hopefully I will be shooting a 10-minute movie. Because I'm not going to shoot like a 2-hour movie. It's going to be Tuesday after work, downtown, shoot a couple of scenes, done. It's real simple to do. And so if anybody is interested in being an extra or something.
Yeah, that reminds me, after we get off the air, I want to show you my setup that I got.
Cool.
I got me a new shotgun mic. And,
nice. That's right.
It's sitting in my closet waiting for a patch cord.
Nice.
That is supposed to come in, which brings me to my week.
Excellent. Yes. How was your week, Tim?
You know what? I've got this pet peeve, guys. I had to have a patch cord for this shotgun mic that I have. There's certain connections that if you have to put in a cell phone or it'll only take certain connections.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm going to say this to all the music and electronic stores in Columbus. Guys, if you don't sell something, and I'm not saying this is everyone. There was, a couple of people that did know.
Right.
But if you're selling something, and let's say in the electronics genre,
know where this is going.
You know what? I have absolutely no problem if you don't carry this. It's, I understand that. It's kind of a specialty item. But what gets me is when I was talking to people and they were going, you might as well be speaking Spanish to me. I mean, I got this from 5 or 6 people, and then it was going to, let me let you talk to so-and-so who had no idea what I was talking about either. And
wow,
come on, guys, have a little product knowledge, please.
Right. Yes. And that's the thing. There's a lot of these places that are staffed with people who don't care. And I'll tell you, I went to one place that I steer clear of there now, and they've got some good stuff. But there's this one store that they have their on-site tech guys.
And I got a feeling we talked to the same store.
Very possibly.
Yeah.
And, it's like, not only are these geeks, not particularly friendly.
There you go. Yeah, we talked to the same store.
They're not, they don't, first of all, they pride themselves on being, these tech geeks or whatever, these
Right.
knowledgeable people, but they don't know, they don't care, and I don't go to their store anymore.
Yeah.
Unless I absolutely have to.
And so, if anyone happens to be listening that is involved in this, Radio Shack, I will pay you to come back. Please. That was my go-to store for
Yeah.
everything.
Well, Radio Shack had stuff that other places just don't have. They had connectors, they had resistors. I mean, you could build a radio
Exactly.
from Radio Shack.
No, that's
You
why I
can't
called
do-
Radio Shack, to begin
Right.
with.
Well, they started out, they were like, ham shacks and stuff like that, radios, Of course, they went into more solid state stuff, but, they went way back to the when you built it yourself days.
Yeah, well, you remember they started off as, I believe the name of the store was Tandy back then.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
It did. It just had where you could buy circuit boards and things of that
Yeah.
nature. And as you said, just build your own electronics.
Of course, then it got to this day and age where
Yeah.
disposable, I don't want to know how to build anything. I just want to pick it up and use it.
Yep.
And, look at me. I've got one. I'm holding it. But the point is that
Well, I am too. I'm looking at mine. So that's
of course, we couldn't build our own anyway because Radio Shack's gone.
oh, don't depress me, man. I was sitting there in prayer. I was like, oh, I would love Radio Shack to be back.
Yeah. It was Radio Shack was quite good.
Because the current let's just say it, Best Buy, because I don't work there, but
Well, that's true, that's true.
so I'm able to say that. But Best Buy just didn't have anything. And then they were not the only ones. I want to preface with that, but I have all these people, and Brian and I kind of push the go out and support your local stores. Go out
Right.
and and everyone I'm hearing is going, we're brick and mortar stores. We can't compete with anyone
Right.
online. But yet when I call and you have no product knowledge,
Right.
you don't know what I'm talking about, and the very first thing that came out of everyone's mouth was, hey, you got to try online. Well, you're driving business there. At least if you'd known what you were talking about, then I would have said, hey, you know what? It's a decent store. They just didn't have it, and I would have shopped there again.
Right.
But if you automatically tell me to go somewhere else,
Well, yeah,
I guess
and-
you don't want my business.
When I went there, this was years ago now. I'm sure these people don't even work there anymore, or their district managers. Who knows? But I was looking for memory for a computer,
Right.
and this was back when the 512 was pretty good memory. But I went in there and I was like, I seen it online because it was like, and it was a certain price. I went in the store and I was like, they showed it to me as like way more. I was like, man, I can get this online for way cheaper than this. And they were like, well, I'd buy it online then. And I was like, thank you. Walked out of the store.
Yeah.
It's like, we're not dissing any, I don't want anybody to, anybody to say, well, on the show they were dissing the store. No, these are testimonials. These are personal experiences we've had that were negative.
And, I'll just go ahead and say it. Yes, I am on the show, and yes, I am dissing the store. I'm sorry. I mean, that got me so angry. Like I said, if you don't have it, it's understandable.
Yeah.
You can't have everything.
Right.
But, if you're going to sell electronics, have an idea of what electronics are.
Right.
There's another store I know, you walk in, and the first thing that they do is pull out a phone, go to their website, and say, I don't have it. Meanwhile, there's 20 to 30 of them on the rack right behind them.
Yeah, now I've done that before too at various, not necessarily Best Buy, but I've done that at stores. They say, oh, we don't carry that. And then they're right behind them on the shelf.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no knowledge of what they have in the store, no knowledge of what they do have in the store. It's terrible. It's
Well,
customer service.
it's like and I don't want to name any more names, but the other store, and I have to be really careful since they have locations everywhere in Columbus, so you can kind of guess that one.
Yeah.
But, you go in and you go to one certain department, which may be 4 or 5 aisles, not even whole aisles. I mean, they're, little bitty
Right,
aisles.
yeah.
And you go, hey, I want to get, this widget or whatever, and they go, no, we don't have that. So just out of sheer wanting to prove you wrong, I'll walk over and find it on at least 3 aisles that you told me wasn't there.
Right. Yeah.
So therefore, you end up with, along with the fact that you have 25 checkout lanes and one of them open all the time. But, like I said,
Yeah.
we're not going to name what store we're talking about.
But we're glad that they finally got self-checkout.
Yeah, this is true.
There is
But,
one thing, and this is something Stacy complained to me about before, how I would go into a place and I would just look for something. And she said, why don't you just ask somebody where it's at? And I was like, because they might tell me they don't have it, and they do. I would rather go and search out the store and see with my own eyes. And then if I can't find it, I'll go ask somebody. But they're too quick to tell you some blow-off answer at, so many of these stores.
Yeah.
And Stacy, was like, oh, okay, I see what you're saying, because this happened.
And you know what? I'm going to say this to anyone, if you're watching now, later, whenever. That is another reason that you want to go to your mom and pop stores, because your mom and pop stores know what they're talking about. They care about you, and they will back up their service. Look, I'll give you an example. I have a brother right now who just went into business, a very lucrative music store that's around. And, I called him. He didn't have it. Mm-hmm. He didn't have it. But the thing is, he could sit there and tell me what it was for.
If the guy running the place is the one who's ordering the stuff, then he can generally tell you what they have and what they don't have.
He said, no, we don't have it right now because, they had just moved locations.
Right.
And they are still trying to get a lot of stock up.
Right.
He said,
yeah.
but, yes, it's a specialty item. Mm-hmm. He said, but we're looking at getting it in, within the next couple of weeks.
Right.
So, that situation I can understand.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand if I don't have it.
Right, yeah.
But don't go work. I do not understand. Then I'll get off this because it's a tangent of mine. But I do not understand how you have people that can't find a job. And then on the other hand, you have people that have a job and they work in an electronics store, but, they probably should be working in McDonald's because
right, yeah.
They don't care.
And there's another issue, too. It's like some of the larger stores, and I'm not saying no names, but they don't order stuff for the store. They're just sent stuff on 18-wheelers, and they unstock it, and they put it on they unload the truck, and they put it on the shelves. They have no control over what they get. The distributors just send out stuff to different stores, and it's like you go in there, like where the mom and pop stores, they know what they have because they order it, they want it in their store, they want to sell it. But so many of these big stores are just sent stuff.
And if they don't have it, they will sit there and say, but we will order it for you. Mm-hmm. Which to me is going above and beyond.
Right, yeah, totally.
If you go into the big box stores or wherever you want to call, Best Buy, Walmart. But if you want to go into either one of those, then their answer is just simply, no, we don't have that. No, we don't carry it, which A, may be just a total falsehood.
Right.
Or two, they just don't care, which is probably both.
Yeah, it's probably both, yeah.
But yes, you can order it online from that store, but they don't even tell you that.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you, that's the reason at this point Amazon pretty much has my business.
Amazon is great. I can get tea there. Okay, we talked, I've been drinking tea this whole show. If you go get PG Tips tea at, say, Publix, any store, all the prices are about the same. You're going to pay about $4.29 for 40 tea bags. I can get 480 tea bags off Amazon for like $25.
Wow.
And if you do the math, that's quite a savings. And Amazon's great.
The cord that I needed, and like I said, it was a cord, it was an electronic item, you can get for a couple of bucks. Mm-hmm. But the problem is I had to go and pay, and this is the one time on Amazon that I did not get it cheaper.
Right, yeah.
Because they carried it from the manufacturer.
Yeah.
It was a specialty item, like, my brother had said, but it was a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But yet, and then I had to pay for shipping.
Right, yeah.
And I know how these larger stores are trying to work. They say, hey, we'll get it shipped here for free.
Yeah.
But, that time you've already ticked me off. You might as well forget it. I'll pay the extra couple of bucks.
Yeah.
So, but hey, that's that. I'm not going to sit here for 30 minutes and go on another tangent about that. But
well, certainly in this day and age of disposable stuff, on the one hand, you have the crowds of people on this side talking about saving the earth and saving the environment, and you have the crowds of people on this side who, everything that they build is self-destructive or disposable.
Yep.
Something's going to go wrong with it just before your contract's up or whatever. We certainly are living in an age where customer service is at the very least on the back burner.
Well, it's not even customer service as much as it is, like I said, it's product know-how. It's knowing your own product.
Yeah.
Like I said, if guys, if you're out looking for a job and you want to go work in electronics, please know what electronics are.
Right.
If not,
Yeah.
go somewhere else that you're knowledgeable.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I usually don't get this aggravated, but I had my day off Friday, and I spent probably half of it on the phone.
Yeah.
Trying to talk to places that I absolutely knew were going to have this. And like I said, it's not the fact that they didn't have it, it's the fact they had absolutely no idea.
Right.
And probably out of the 15 to 30 stores that I called,
Mm-hmm.
I'll say, under a handful actually knew what I was talking about. And, those stores, I will definitely go back.
Right. Yeah.
It's understandable if they didn't have it, but at least they knew what I was talking about.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's like you're talking about the mic. The shotgun mic is a really nifty thing for recording from a cell phone. And there are quite a few items that you can get that require a some kind of third party adapter or whatever connector. Something I really like this, people use all the time now. It was unheard of when I was a kid, science fiction, but the Wi-Fi, like I've got this camera that you clamp on your phone, and it doesn't record to your phone; it records to the camera, but still you can see it through Wi-Fi on the.
Well, I had the choice, to get the shotgun mic that you could clamp on the phone, and I wouldn't have to have the cord.
They have a Wi-Fi one?
Yeah, well, no, it's not the Wi-Fi one. It actually has a cord. Mm-hmm. Well, excuse me. It doesn't have a cord, but it has a plug. It plugs directly in and it clamps on your phone.
Right.
But the problem is it wasn't going to clamp if you had a case.
Oh, right. Yeah. The case is a big deal.
And plus the fact that the one that I got is, a little bit more high dollar. And by the way, guys, if you are joining us now, Brian and I are just sitting here because we got kind of blindsided with our guest, didn't make it, so we're just kind of really just talking about things. But, hey, if you've been into a store and, you've had something that's just kind of gotten under your skin or whatever, hey, we got a chat box right here. Please join us. I don't know. I've kind of heard it from two sides at this point. I heard a gentleman said, well, you know what? He said, being where I do an online business, you get, if you get 10,000 items, you're not going to be able to be familiar with 10,000 items. So, and that train of thought I can understand, but I'm not talking about 10,000 items.
Right.
I'm talking about a store that's, I could walk across in 2 seconds,
And they have different people in different departments, so, it's not like they have to remember everything in the store. They have to remember what's in their section, although I'm sure they swirl them around on a regular basis, but yeah. But yeah, so, definitely that's an issue, and, but, we like to we don't want to completely diss every business in town. We got to save some for next time.
Yeah, there you go. Next time the guest doesn't show up. By the way, hey, we mentioned it before. We want to say it again. Dee Armstrong was supposed to join us today, but Dee has had some some problems with her scheduling and just had to cancel at the last minute. We definitely understand that.
And she's got some interesting things going on too.
She does.
I don't want to go too much into it because she's not here, but keep an eye on what Dee Armstrong is doing because she's experimenting with some mediums, whatever you want to call it.
She's different forms of media. If you haven't seen her on television, and maybe if you haven't seen her show, I don't know if she's running reruns or not, but there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
She's still on air, but she's just not doing her show. And it's like you said, we'll let her elaborate more on that. But she's definitely still around, guys.
Yeah, she definitely is. And so, the technology today is amazing. This phone, most of your phones. And what we've preached before is, if you've got anything, if you've got some artsy thing you'd like to do, then you should definitely do it. This phone here supposedly is supposed to have extremely good audio. Like, it's supposed to be able to withstand the decibels of a full football stadium. I'm not entirely sure what that means. I've got to experiment with it and find out. But whatchamacallit, keep an eye open for the what we talked about last week, the Way Down Film Festival.
Yep.
Because that is coming up in October. Might as well do our calendar of events here.
Yeah, and we'll give a shout out to Scott again.
Definitely. Thanks for coming in, Scott.
We hope your hand's feeling a whole lot better. He had an accident with that.
Oh, I'm not sure I knew about that.
We saw his hand was stretched out with a little black thing on it. We were making fun of him. So he looked like Michael Jackson. But, like I said, I'm sitting here looking at our live stream on my phone, and we've got people popping in and out. And if you come in, please, hey, say something, let us know, and help us out, because even though Brian and I are very good at just running our mouths, then after a while we just kind of
run out of stuff to
run
say.
out of things to say. Yeah, but I guess I'll mention it anyway. And this is just because of nepotism, but my brother, as I said, was employed here in Columbus at a larger corporation, and things happened, and he ended up going in and being half owner in a music store, which is making him extremely happy. He said, Tim, I would much rather maybe earn a little bit less and be happy. And I'm really happy for him. But listen, guys, if you get a chance, go over and see him. His partner's name is Tim O'Brien. My brother's name is Mike. And the store is American Guitar Boutique.
Nice.
13th Street, Phoenix City.
Go check them out. Support your local musician supply guys.
There you go. Hey, just anybody that's supply in your local city now. I know that people watch us from all over. So wherever it may be, please, your local businesses, support them.
They definitely need, because without your local businesses, what you're going to end up with, if you don't support your local businesses, all you're going to end up with is
Walmart. That's right.
Everybody said, there you go.
I'll say it. I don't work at these places, but knowing me, come tomorrow, I'll probably be looking for a job. And I'm about at the point where I'm going to be going, welcome to Walmart. So.
They'll be like, weren't you on that podcast?
Yeah. And my luck, it'll be the one person that dropped in and heard me say Walmart. But at that point, I'll just go, guess what? I can go do more damage on the podcast, too, if you don't leave me alone. But, I'm not going to go there.
There's something I got to say, though, and this is actually to the positive. The Walmart market on down where Columbus Tech is, down Manchester Expressway.
Yep.
Stacey and I go there pretty regularly for various things. And it's not great for everything. They don't have an electronics section, but it's pretty handy. It's actually a very comfortable shopping experience, and they have self-checkout. You can breeze in and breeze out, which is uncommon for Walmart. It's like normally Walmart's like it's like visiting another galaxy, and there's like a lot of prep work involved, and then you got to get back, just parking and all that, because it's so huge.
And you see all the aliens walking around.
You see all the aliens walking around. But this is like in and out. You can get in and get out. So I like to props to those guys for those little. That was a good idea. And I guess pretty soon, Tim, unless you got some fascinating things to talk about, we should probably start wrapping this up.
Well, if I had fascinating things to talk about, I would be fascinating, but I would be the most interesting man in the world. I'd be on TV.
I got to talk about that for a second, actually. Now, I'm some years old, and I've seen a lot of commercials in my lifetime, a lot of commercial campaigns in my lifetime. And I've got to say that I am extremely impressed with Dos Equis for the most interesting man in the world commercial thing that they did, campaign, because that was really fascinating. That was like, it was adventure. It wasn't just your lame buy this product. I mean, they had like they gave him little bios, things that he did, and the guy who actually the older fellow, there's a younger guy playing him now.
Yep.
But the older fellow who played him actually created that character at his audition. Like, he walked in, they were hiring for a guy for this commercial campaign. He walked in and he actually created the most interesting man in the world character, and he's retired now. But I just thought it was really clever because it's not every day you see commercials with that kind of depth. I just thought that was really neat, and I think people could learn from that concept.
I'm trying to remember what the little slogan the guy had at the end of it.
Stay thirsty, my
there
friends.
You go. So be glad I didn't walk in. Stay thirsty, my friends. Speaking of thirst, I'm going to go get a bottle of water over here. Yes, like you said, Brian, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. And guys, forgive us because we don't have the opening today. We don't have the commercials. We don't have. Well, actually, we do have them, but we are just trying to figure out what I did over the week when I unplugged something and why it's not coming through the board. But so when you go to work tomorrow and you have the water cooler talks, it's Tim's fault. That's usually the way it goes. But once again, Dee Armstrong was going to join us. She will be joining us within the next couple of weeks, kind of go into what she's got things up to. And it's really interesting. It really is. But next week, I believe, if we can get it nailed down, because we're as Brian had mentioned earlier, going through the Memorial Day holiday.
Yeah.
And we're kind of debating on should we or shouldn't we, and we want to try to, be nice to the guests. And
right.
So, but Leah McMahon is
Leah
join us.
McMahon is next up on the roster, and we definitely want to get her in here, even if we don't do a show next week, do the holiday. We definitely want to get her in here. And
we do.
If it takes doing it on a holiday weekend, we need to get her in here. But she may have something going on, so I'm still working on that.
Yeah, she is. And you know what? I actually contacted Leah first to kind of see. Like I said, she writes for Playground Magazine, which is a local music art type thing magazine that goes on here in Columbus. And I thought, hey, it'd be interesting, have someone that writes. And, we have a couple of people that we know, and maybe we can track them down here, Will Dockery.
Yeah.
And
who called while I was doing the show.
Yeah, there you go, Will. If you're watching, you could come up here and we can make it a twosome, and Brian will take on both of you. No, we didn't mean it like that, guys. But, it's an interesting little magazine, and we thought it'd be great to have them on. But then when I did contact Leah, she started to go, well, hey, you know what? I'm in the midst of writing a book and should be out, which I had no idea.
Yeah.
So she said that she's got a lot of interesting things going on. Mm-hmm. We thought it would be
that would be a great person to have on, because Playgrounds has roots deep in the community, and the fact that she's an author, that's fantastic.
Yeah. And then hopefully we can get Dee on the week after that.
Sounds good.
Have to get in touch with her. But anyway, I can see Brian's going, okay, Tim, come on, we need to get off the air. So, I'm deaf, guys, so I can read faces really well. But he's right. We're going to go ahead and get off here. For those of you that came into the room and didn't say anything, I'll find out who you are. Yeah, there you go. But, no, thanks for joining us. And if you are watching this at a later time, maybe later on, you're out enjoying your weekend, your Sunday afternoon, then, hey, be safe. Have a great time.
Yeah, definitely. Have a great time.
We love having you watch, whether it's live or even though we prefer it live because we love to hear from you.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is the reason we went to kind of this format so people could comment. But we know during the summer months that we had this discussion last year, Brian and I, when we first started this podcast. We knew during the summer months that it was going to be really hard because a lot of people were going to be out.
Right.
Their boats and, wherever
Cookouts,
it may be.
Yeah.
And, they would watch later, which is what's happening.
Yeah.
But we still want to come up here on Sunday afternoon and put the thing out. And we'll be here on Facebook Live 3:30 every Sunday afternoon, and then the show will be up. And remember, if you want to go back for any past broadcasts, it is on YouTube, and that is at the show-Columbus. I'm not sure if it has the dash there, but that's.
I think it does.
It may. It's a show-Columbus on YouTube, or it's the show Columbus. We can't remember.
Yeah,
but either way, it's type in the show, you should get it.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I think I did name it the show Columbus, so it'd be pretty easy to find.
Right, yeah.
But type in the show Columbus on YouTube and search for it, and all the shows will come up all the way since past. And there's a lot of really good shows to watch.
Yeah, there are a lot of really good shows.
And you can watch all the growing pains we had, because we had a lot of screw ups. Especially me. This was a very fun learning experience, and like I said, it is also something that is a learning experience coming up. Anyway, shut up, Tim. Guys, you have a great rest of your weekend and a great week, and we look forward to hearing from you. If you watch the show a little bit later, go ahead and leave us a comment.
Definitely.
And we will get right back to you.
Either online or during the next show, one of the two.
All right, anything else?
I think that's about it.
That's about it.
Rock on.
Later. Take care, guys.